Just a year after the release of VHS 94, its sequel, VHS 99, came out. Interesting choice of title. I'm sure the reasoning behind the specific year makes a lot more sense once you've actually seen the movie, much like the last one, right? Oh shit, or maybe I just missed the last 4 sequels somehow. Yeah, much like the real years 95 to 98, just complete blur to me. So this movie's overarching plot is this...
Gentlemen, when I look at this battlefield, I see some of the bravest men ever to wear a uniform.
Wait, the in-between clips are a stop-motion film with army men?
How about a bugle? We already have a guy who plays the bugle. I can for sure play better than him. It's true. I suck.
This is fucking amazing. It's like something I would have tried to make as a kid.
God damn it! And you're there. Stop posing. Sorry, sir.
Well, that was a surprising tone setter, if the tone was a wacky comedy. This is a horror movie at its core, and it seems like, much like every other horror franchise, it focuses more on comedy than genuine horror. But come on, it's stop motion with toys. That's so fun. It's actually hard to tell where the shorts start in this one, as this movie finally forgoes the exploration of a building full of staticky monitors and makes the whole anthology seem like it was all recorded over a single VHS tape.
So why wait?
Hey, it's the Veggie Masher! Where this segment truly begins is this music video with a bunch of teens being all radical and bodacious and what have you.
Take it, vodka? You want some of that? This is my dick. That's right, it's big.
But that's all just the intro to their vlog, I guess. These guys are all in a band named Rack. But they aren't just a band, as they supposedly have a video series as well, where they do, I don't know, random shit. But this very special episode, of course, has them explore a music venue called the Colony Underground.
So this arts collective had like hella shows all the time. It was all ages, and some pretty big bands would come from the city, like the KGB, Petty Cash, and the Starfuckers.
Yeah, the Starfuckers were a bit overrated for my taste. Yeah, the Uranus Smashers though. This place shut down after a band called Bitch Cat died from being trampled to death by the audience. Alright, it's a pretty unique setup, but then to pad out their documentary further, they decide to play yet another music video / biography of the dead band. Yeah, when I'm looking to watch a standard found footage horror film, I'm not really interested in seeing music videos, right? But, I mean, stop motion animation, that's completely different. The music's not bad, I'll give it that. One of the members of this merry band of degenerates happens to be Hindu and is a little superstitious about disturbing the sight of a brutal death.
No, it's gonna be fun. Come on, let's just go.
Rach, those chicks seem kind of nice. I just don't think we should fuck with their gravesite.
But like,
Gravesite? Wait, did nobody recover the bodies after they died?
There are these stories, okay? Hindu stories about boots.
boots?
Yeah, boots. I've heard of those before. Oh, BHUTS, got it. Inside the Velvet Underground, they discover...
Why would anybody want to live down here?
Oh no, it's the Ratma! So Scoob and the gang set up on stage and decide to play a show, where they continue to fuck with the Hindu dude. The Hindude, if you will.
I hope the Buddha get all of you!
Huh. Yeah, that somehow doesn't have the same effect as just go to hell. He pieces out and leaves the rest of the gang to continue being very respectful to the dead. And hey, wouldn't you know it, the ghosts of the chick rockers start murdering them. One even grabs the camera to film it all. The short ends with I'm not kidding. The zombified shambles of the kids playing a song on stage. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But hey, at least it's not another music video. This short is pretty dark, and not just in subject matter. The whole segment of the underground is out of focus and underlit, so most of what you're watching is just dark, blurry movement. And I don't know if it was meant to be this way, but I found myself rooting for the zombies the whole time. These kids are unlikable assholes, except for the Hindu kid. He didn't really deserve what he got. The whole short is just kind of hateful and not very interesting or unique in any way. Kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But it did make me learn something about Hindu religion. And D&D monsters, so there's that. And now we get a palate cleanser with more stop motion animation. Hell yeah! Oh. That was it? This one begins with an exposition of how this girl is attempting to join a sorority, but is doing what is known as a suicide bid, where I guess she applies to only one sorority, and if they say no, then she'll be a social outcast from the rest of the school.
Well, so if they say no, you'll be excluded from the whole sorority process. And that means spending your entire freshman year as an outcast.
Is that even a thing? Like, what kind of stupid Mean Girl shit is this? The following footage is what I guess is their hazing process at a graveyard. Oh goody. We get a bit of backstory about a sorority sister named Guillotine, which I'm pretty sure isn't an actual name. Then again, I'm one to talk.
She wanted to join a sorority. Our sorority. Just like you.
And she was desperate and alone, just like you.
And the girls took her back here and into the graveyard. And they told her that in order to be a part of their sorority, she had to spend the night buried in a coffin. Only they didn't just leave her there for a night. They left her there for an entire week.
Naturally, her task is to spend the night in a coffin. Man, that is going to be one mean hangover when she wakes up. But it's okay, because sorority girls are anything if not safety-oriented, and installed one of those fancy cemetery bells. Fun fact, they actually used to have those bells in cemeteries way back in the day when we didn't have very good medical practices and were more likely to accidentally bury someone alive. And so you'd wake up in the coffin and you ring a bell and they'd dig you out and be like, whoops, my bad. And that fact, I didn't have to Google. Right, so the Courtney Cox lookalike gets buried alive, and of course, they bury her alive with a camera. Hey, so it's like that one movie with Ryan Gosling where he's buried alive, and the whole movie is just him buried in a coffin because he was buried, and I can't remember what the name of that movie was, though.
What'd you do this weekend? Library? Oh, that's cool. Me? Oh, you know, the usual, just buried alive in a coffin. No, that's what you want, isn't it, huh? You want me to fail so I can end up like you. Sad and alone every Friday night, wishing a boy, any boy, would ask you out.
Man, this girl is a real bitch to her friend. I'm buried alive and decides to take this opportunity to berate her for being sad and lonely. Also, before they buried her, this one girl who was being all nice and shit gave her a box to open in case she starts to panic. And it was full of spiders. Some very juicy spiders. Jesus, is this typical for a college hazing? Man, when I joined a frat in college, all they had me do was shove a marmot up my ass. I mean, this is way worse. It starts raining and the girls begin dancing around and screaming like a bunch of idiots. When...
Get the bell! If they find out we're doing a hazing prank, we'll all get expelled.
So they skedaddle and plan on coming back later. Meanwhile, in the coffin... Probably the first time in VHS history a segment legitimately disturbed me. In fact, I had a hard time rewatching this bit just for script writing purposes, and probably later on for editing purposes too. It's just so effective and how claustrophobic and panic-inducing it is. And props to this woman for perfectly selling it. But then, Guillotine shows up. Yeah, honestly, this little segment was scary enough without the whole corpse of Guillotine going in for some necking bit. The next day, because I guess they forgot they left her there, the girls come back to find the hole completely flooded.
I'm gonna be fucking sick.
Man, they must feel pretty bad about all this. I guess you can say they're feeling guiltine for what they did. But man, how much more effective would it have been if they just cut from her coffin filling with water to the next day showing the hole flooded? Then when they realize that there's no body down there, it would leave it up to the audience to decide if she made it out okay or if the spirit of a dead sorority girl took her. I'm just saying, subtlety goes a long way with horror. And this short, unfortunately, doesn't seem to know much about subtlety, or when to end for that matter. It should end at this part.
We are never here. Okay? We never speak of this again. Understand?
But instead, we suddenly cut to them stuck inside their own coffins, with their own cameras, with a corpse of a girl coming to say hi.
Hello, Annie. I made a deal with Guillotine that if she let me go, I'd give her as many sisters as she could possibly want. Her own sorority. Soul Sisters.
It's a bit silly, and this short would have been perfect if it weren't for the ending. But enough of that shit, more stop motion.
Oh my God, Anderson, are you alive? Tell it to me straight, Sarge. Am I gonna die? No, you're gonna be fine. My legs, I can't feel my legs.
I said, Bubba, they ain't there.
This short? Oh. Okay, the hell am I watching? It's like some kind of Tim and Eric sketch, but actually kind of funny.
I want to be the most famous and best basketball player ever in the world. You don't want to get dunked on, fool.
I can't even begin to describe how insane this one is. So there's some kind of game show called Aussies Dungeon, where kids compete in challenges to meet Aussie and have him grant their wishes. But it's all so campy and grotesquely 90s that it's almost hilariously uncomfortable.
Anybody else hungry out there? Alrighty then! Who hasn't seen that movie?
It's honestly fantastic. And the best part about it all is this is VHS. These are short horror films, so the entire time you're just waiting to see where and how everything is going to start getting demented. And I think the creators of this one knew that and took advantage of it.
And I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Ooh, Donna from the Big D. Well, you traveled quite some way to get here, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. We drove all the way down.
You drove? Mm-hmm. In a car? What? You couldn't afford to fly?
See, just that awkward exchange, it started getting me thinking that this Nickelodeon knockoff took place in hell or purgatory or something, that this was all some deranged way wayward souls had to ascend. You know, she specified driving down. The MC mentioned flying, like it was funny. But then I remembered, again, that this is VHS. This is supposed to be found footage using VHS tape hardware, and I'm pretty sure they use Betamax in hell. Anyway, Donna here is part of the final two. All she has to do is climb the aggro crag until...
Winding intestines first. Oh, there she is. It's Donna coming up. Ooh, someone's got a boo-boo.
How How? How the hell did she fuck up her leg so bad? Yeah, definitely needs more calcium in her diet if her bones are that damn brittle. Jesus. I'm not the one rewinding, by the way. That's the movie. Suddenly, we're watching the whole thing on a TV, on a recreation of the obstacle course with the host naked and in a cage. This is Donna's family, and I guess after her accident on live television, they have been planning on getting their revenge.
Show him that mangled shit. See? See?
Man, poor Donna loses her leg to a game show, and now she's turned emo. Also, Mama's blood pressure's been acting up and needs to take her shirt off. Okie dokie.
Don't nobody want to see that on the big screen.
Mama's clearly given this short film her all, and it's pretty insane.
You showbiz LA motherfuckers make my goddamn pussy! I am in the Sahara Desert!
Sahara!
Shut the fuck up!
Wait. What about her pussy? The dad is also here. He's the one holding the camera. But what I love about him is how the whole time he's just, oh no, honey. Oh, don't do that. Oh no.
Asshole.
Don't do that, baby. You can't do this, honey.
So obviously to get the revenge and to satiate Mama's bloodlust, they torture the MC through various means reminiscent of the games on the show.
Are you ready for our next challenge? Huh? Are you hungry?
Oh shit, wait a minute. That's fucking Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5.
It is good to see you. Oh, I missed you. You used to be fatter. Nice new tits, by the way.
I didn't recognize him with the wig.
Go! Come on, girl! There you go.
Ew, is that raw chicken? It's somehow way worse than being stabbed in the ribs by fake antlers. The coup de grace in all of this being a fucked up recreation of the final obstacle course. I'm gonna spare you the grotesque imagery of a man crawling through what is, I think, supposed to be shit, with a gaping wound in his side, no less. I mean, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have even told you that. Yeah, my bad. Before being put out of his misery, the guy claims he knows where Ozzy is, and can take them to him to have their wishes granted, leading to... Ah, hell yeah. What is that, Miles Davis? Wasn't expecting to hear some jazz fusion in this movie. It's crazy. So even though the show was canceled who knows how long ago, Ozzy's cave and beefy gatekeeper are still hanging around the studio, because Ozzy is a real supernatural creature that grants actual wishes. But if all of that is real, why does the fire look so fake?
It's so dark in here. You hear that music, baby?
Oh, is it Paranoid by Black Sabbath? That's my favorite Ozzy song. No, Ozzy is just some fat person, surrounded by the previous show winners. The emo daughter makes her wish, and I guess wished for Ozzy to give birth to a Lovecraftian horror that melts her family's faces. I would have wished for a pony, but hey, that's just me. This short is an emotional roller coaster for me. It starts off just so frickin' strong, but then it just kind of peters out into silly, nonsensical gore and body horror. What's the deal with Ozzy? Why did the emo daughter wish for a recreation of that scene from Raiders? Honestly, it doesn't seem to matter, because the filmmakers didn't seem too bothered to build that mystery for the audience in the first place. It's all just... there. But back to Action League now, where our heroes are...
What the fuck are you doing, loser? Hey, is that my camera?
Don't take over my new...
No, man, now it's just another short with skater kids being idiots. We're back to the basics, with teenage boys being horny and dumb, and also skaters.
I'm okay.
Oh, dude! That's not right.
Oh shit, is this normal?
No, I'm pretty sure a broken wrist looks more realistic than that. Keeping with tradition by having them attempt to film up girls' skirts and creeping on one in her pool.
So fucking hot.
Yeah, man, that's the good stuff. God, we are so spoiled by the internet nowadays. Oh, and they find the shed skin of an enormous reptile. Just leaving that one out there. Also, one of the kid's brothers, the badass making all the stop-motion shorts, is a dweeb and isn't invited to be a moron with the rest of them.
Is he gonna snitch? Nah, I'm holding his Warhammer set hostage. We're good.
His Warhammer set? Does he play Bretonia? Nah, I bet he's more of a Chaos player. I'm just kidding. They probably meant Warhammer 40k, because apparently nobody plays Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, and that girl in the pool, she's their next-door neighbor, who the guys have grown a little obsessed over and begin filming out the window, where they notice that she has a lot of random statues. Also, just gonna leave that one there. Even the delivery guy has the hots for her.
Oh, bro.
But then, they witness her fall victim to the greatest Mac Daddy of them all. That's right, the little brother.
Yo, did she just voluntarily touch him?
Is she holding his hand?
This is
not happening right now.
Whoa.
He's going inside.
Dude, holy shit.
She probably feels bad for him.
He was invited over so he can help her set up a webcam on her computer. The hormonal teens are then inspired to have the brother hack her system so they can see through her webcam too, which, of course, they film him do. Oh, it's like Rear Window, but with the horny teens instead of Jimmy Stewart. Oh, yeah, well, I'm gonna crank one out pretty hard tonight, I'll tell you what. The little brother succeeds, and they get a good look at those warlocks. Hey, not that this has anything to do with anything, but you guys remember the very first short in the very first VHS movie, where the guys are attacked by a succubus? Well, this time it's a Gorgon. A Gorgon with really bad CG makeup, unfortunately.
Yo, wait, is this the CGI thing?
That, and there isn't really a lot to say after the monster starts attacking. She just kills everybody, and then that's it. I mean, I guess it is kind of neat that she turns the last two to stone, and one of them is still holding the camera. But other than that, it's all kind of meh. A lot of build-up with little payoff. The build-up, though, I'll admit was pretty good. The whole time I was watching, I was just waiting to see if a monster was going to show up to attack her, or if she was going to somehow be the monster. The hints of her being a Gorgon were a bit too subtle for me to catch the first time around, but I do appreciate how it's not too obvious that way. You'd have to really be paying attention and know what a Gorgon is. And for the first time in VHS history, one of the shorts themselves also acted as the overarching narrative that's interspersed between the shorts. I use the term narrative lightly, but yeah, so far the VHS films have always had their book-ending short be a bit underwhelming, or in Viral's case, just straight up terrible. But this time it gets its own time to breathe and develop a narrative, even though, again, it was just stop motion that turns into a story about a bunch of teenage stoners. Gotta give them credit for the unique formatting and framing of the movie as a whole, though. But we still have one more short. Hey, guess what? We've got another movie about a weird cult. Yeah, I know. Haven't seen that one before.
The window.
The wall. The sweat. It drips down my... These biddies are going to summon a demon, and these two chuckle fucks are there to film the phenomenon. Yeah, it makes more sense than filming a wake, I guess. But things go wrong when Fergus shows up.
Is that Fergus again?
Fucking Fergus, man. Always screwing up our rituals. Fergus drags the camera guy and co. into some sort of nether realm and... Okay, this is badass. The set and costume designs are really good. This short blindsided me with thinking it was going to be another cult ritual gone wrong sort of deal, but then this. It's another one of those theme park rides kind of found footage, where part of the fun is not knowing what fucked up thing is going to turn up next. The whole thing isn't just these two running around and screaming, though. They also meet a woman suffering from a rash called Mabel, who offers to take the mortals to the demon Okoban, or whatever, so they can be transported back to the normal world with him.
8 minutes. Troy, What if we can get to this Ugoban by midnight when the witches take him through the veil?
Yes! And then we can grab onto him right when they take him through and we can go home.
Yeah, that's some crafty thinking for a couple of guys who suddenly found themselves in hell. Now, honestly, this short would be just a 10 out of 10, full stop. If it weren't for one thing. Just one fucking thing. And that being these guys' stupid-ass banter.
Take the light. Give me a turn with that.
What? No, you don't know how to fight.
Yes, I do. I took martial arts.
No, you didn't.
When I was a kid, I did.
Remember what I said about how horror franchises seem to rely more on humor than horror nowadays? Yeah, imagine creating and designing this amazing set and these amazing creatures, only to have dialogue like this going on around it.
She just left us here.
Maybe you shouldn't have been such a dick.
Well, shit, Troy. I'm sorry I'm not buddy-buddy with every demon hellspawn that I meet. It's called leadership, Troy. Somebody has to take charge. It's not gonna be you.
There's this not so subtly included bit of story between the two about how the cameraman's friend implied that he's a bad person.
Hey, Mabel, can you go to hell for an isolated shoplifting incident?
Oh yeah, Troy, that's the worst thing you've ever done.
What's that supposed to mean? Shut up.
To which the cameraman decides he needs an explanation as to why his friend would say a mean thing like that, and he wants that explanation now.
Nate, you really think I'm a bad person? Cannot be serious right now. Well, excuse me for thinking it's a big deal that my best friend thinks I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, and the worst part about that whole thing is it turns out it's not even anything that bad.
You told my ex that I have a gambling addiction 2 years ago.
I mean, like, in a time like this, yeah, no one's gonna give a shit. Just let me enjoy the spooks, for crying out loud. Why can't these fuckers be mute so it's just Mabel doing the talking? Who, despite being a resident of hell, has way more charisma and is much more likable than these guys.
Fresh souls taste
Anyway, the guys fight off some hell dwellers and learn the meaning of friendship. Fuck it. While Mabel gets skewered and they transport themselves back into the real world.
Troy! We made it! Wait.
But the witches aren't too happy about the turnout of their ritual and murder the two on the spot. But hey, at least Mabel got her name written down like she asked. We then close with a random shot of the two dudes from the segment before, and yep, still statues. End credits. You guys also noticing how these more recent VHS movies are kind of having issues when it comes to coming up with a good ending? VHS 94 also kind of just ended with no sense of finality. I mean, the first one ended with the haunted house guys getting hit by a train. 2 had the guy who shot himself in the head murdered the creep who snuck into his house. That fucking Viral ended with all of LA straight up falling into complete chaos. I mean, more so than usual. But hey, at least this one got Danzig for the end credits. Which is pretty cool. Surprised they didn't get the rights for Bitch Cat. And now it's time for my favorite part of the video. The Shudder reviews. Second VHS Shudder exclusive, and I'm still underwhelmed. Better than the last one I watched, 94. Not getting any chills, no oomph, no adrenaline pumping. This was funnier than it was scary, and that's just not what I come to VHS for. 2 out of 5 skulls. Why not 1? Maybe the extra skull was for the effort. Aussies Dungeon was literally the greatest setup for the biggest letdown. It was so good until the time jump, ... 99 is a pretty middle-of-the-road entry into the series. Some good moments, but not great overall. 3 out of 5 skulls. This one was so good that I almost completely forgot about VHS Viral. Almost. 4 out of 5 skulls. Nostalgia in the beginning was nice, but it's so bad. So bad. Second skit is if Double Dare was somehow evil, but Double Dare ended in 1993, so it made no sense, completely silly, campy, and cheesy. Not at all like the original series that at least tried to pretend things were believable. I couldn't even just leave it playing in the background, it was so annoying. Only good parts were the toy soldiers, but I associate that with around 2010, not 1999, just... Oh. I guess they died mid-review. Boobs. 5 out of 5 skulls. So that was VHS 99. And again, not sure what the inspiration for the title was. The 99, not the VHS part. None of the shorts screamed 1999 particularly, and I think there was only one reference to Y2K in the entire thing.
Okay, you know what? Just watch. Come New Year's, and all you non-believers are gonna be fucked. And there's no way in hell I'm letting either of you into my sick Y2K bomb shelter crib.
I mean, you could have made a found footage horror film just based around the Y2K panic. Come on, it's so obvious. And no, there doesn't seem to be any kind of connection between the overarching plot to this one, if you can even say it had one, to the others in the series. VHS seems to well and truly be an anthology of anthologies. And that's fine, I have no problem with that, because it means each can stand on their own without being judged according to their constituents. That being said though, man have these short film concepts gone off the rails. This one in particular has the stench of a massive budget all over it, which is kind of what bugged me about Viral. A lot of the charm of this series comes from the sense that nothing being done is particularly expensive or difficult to manage. You could easily make these shorts yourself, with patience and a lot of creativity. Where they excel is their ability to take that lack of budget and still manage to create effective scares and build an unsettling atmosphere. Look at Second Honeymoon, A Ride in the Park, or The Empty Wake even. I'm not saying having a budget is a bad thing, of course. Just look at Parallel Monsters. But I feel like for some of these shorts, the expensive stuff was done first, and then they tried to make a horror movie around it, creating a movie that doesn't have that sense of atmosphere and lacking that found footage made on the cheap charm. Suicide Bit had its great moments though, and To Hell and Back was phenomenal if the two leads would just shut the fuck up for a bit. And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, anything to add, Dagwood? Neat.